A very quick take of mine on the David Grusch, Joe Rogan interview is that David Grusch has called out many people in various different ways explicitly. And he's making extraordinary accusations against the U.S. government, accusing the U.S. government of campaigns to lead the American people astray that have occurred over decades, multi-decade UFO cover-up, concealing a crash retrieval program from members of Congress, even the executive branch, even presidents have not been properly read in. This is not just some bum off the street. This is a guy who spent 14 years in the U.S. government and was trusted with the most sensitive secrets of the U.S. government. So he's a highly credible person, and no one's been able to find much dirt on him at all. They tried to go after him for having PTSD, but that was mostly a failed attempt, I think. So the reason I actually think he's telling the truth is partly because the U.S. government has not put this to rest. He simply called out too many people by name, and the accusations are so damning, and he's starting to get interviewed on huge outlets, most recently. And I guess this would be the first huge outlet he's gotten interviewed on, the Joe Rogan Experience. However, he also testified under oath before Congress, so that could be considered a huge conventional official outlet as well. So why is the U.S. government allowing this to persist when all it does is contribute and fan the flames of conspiracy theories and gives people a feeling of justification to believe that the U.S. government is lying about the extent of their knowledge of this enigma? And so some of the people that he's called out is quite remarkable. Just as a big example, in my opinion, that this may have gotten a little bit overlooked, is he referenced the sponsors of the Schumer amendment, Rubio, Rounds, Gillibrand, I think. And he said explicitly that those people know the phenomenon is real and have had meetings. I think he said he conveyed multiple meetings with people more credible than him. And those people more credible than him that these sponsors of the Schumer Amendment, Gillibrand, Rubio, Rounds, so they had meetings with these people, and these people told them what Grusch is saying. So if this is a little example, if Grusch is wrong and who he cited doesn't believe the phenomenon is real, and who he cited didn't have meetings with more credible people than him that told them the same thing, then Gillibrand or Rubio should just be like, oh, what is Grusch talking about? I never had meetings with people more credible than Grusch, and they didn't tell me that what he's saying is true. Why would they not do that? Why would Lloyd Austin and DNI Avril Haines not be part of some kind of press conference where they say, we've looked into Grusch's allegations, we did a thorough review, and it's all a bunch of malarkey? Now, of course, you could bring up the ongoing investigation with the Intelligence Community Inspector General and the Department of Defense Inspector General. And there might be other inspector generals doing the research. Sure, right. So let's see what happens with that. But either way, I just feel like that there's no excuse for this not to be put to rest. There's absolutely no excuse. If it's not put to rest, then the government is incapable of putting it to rest. And the question is why? And I would lean strongly toward, if they're unable to put this to rest and this continues to persist, that Grusch is probably telling the truth about these allegations. And then the other thing I'll say is, I don't think it's a social contagion. And I find that to be a very messy hypothesis, simply because too many people are saying the same thing. Eric Davis, James Lukatsky, Colm Kelleher, the former director of DNI, or director of national intelligence, John Ratcliffe. Lou Elizondo has said that materials have been collected. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of people, but it's just too many people who have had high clearances, have had positions in the U.S. government of high responsibility, and they're all kind of saying the same thing. And then you have like the alleged, I really shouldn't say alleged because Marco Rubio said it's true, and so has Michael Schellenberger, and so has that Washington correspondent. I can't remember his name, but he was in that Hayden event with the current director of Aero, Sean Kirkpatrick. So no, I'm not going to say alleged. There's too many people corroborating it. So I'm going to say, and all the witnesses that have come forward, 40 of them or so, that are saying that there's a crash retrieval program consisting of non-human intelligence, right? So that just seems like too big a number to me for this to be a social contagion. That seems like a little bit of a stretch. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. I would just say that it's actually would be more likely that it's a psyop. But the psyop explanation doesn't impress me either. And I just think Grusch is just too smart and too credible to be lying. So I don't think he's lying. So when he says that he looked at intelligence reports and he spoke with colleagues that he's known his whole career and that were highly credible and witnesses that are highly credible, and they're telling him the same thing, the intelligence reports that he reads. And when I say intelligence reports, I'm not saying, that's not like some article on the internet. We're talking about reports that are official within the holdings of the U.S. government. So the intelligence reports are also telling him that this is real and true. So that does not suggest a social contagion. That suggests that there's something that is embedded and inherent within the U.S. government conveying that this is real. Therefore, I would put the hypothesis of a psyop above a social contagion. Maybe the intelligence reports that David Grusch read are false, and they're there to spread disinformation. Maybe all the witnesses, including people he knew his entire career and trusted, maybe they're all feeding Grusch lies too. And maybe the 40-plus witnesses that have been interviewed by multiple journalists, and Rubio explicitly cited them as well, and Rubio said, those people were in a position to know, they are highly credible, security clearances and all that. They're saying the same thing too. Oh, maybe it's this huge psyop encompassing a tremendous amount of people. But to me, that's far-fetched. I just don't think, I don't think that could actually occur. Right? That's just too far-fetched for me. But the social contagion explanation doesn't make sense to me either. There's this many fantasists in the U.S. government, and they're all saying the same thing. I don't know. I think people should be open-minded. I'm not saying that it's necessarily objectively true that what Grusch is saying is true, or it's objectively true that it's most likely to saying is true. I'm just saying that for people that are so sure that it's far more likely it's a social contagion or far more likely that it's a psyop, I think that's highly biased. That is, you're going too far with the idea that, well, anything and everything, bruh, is more likely than aliens. And it's like, well, not necessarily. That was a quick ramble. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm still going over the interview, taking notes. So I'll have some more official videos on it in the future. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to just give some quick takeaways before I publish future videos that are more well-produced and more well thought out, if you will. Citations and all of that. This was just more of a off-the-cuff communication on the spot. And just to correct myself, because I think some people are always looking for holes, I don't know how many witnesses people like Schellenberger spoke to or how many witnesses Rubio spoke to, but a lot, right? And they're all saying the same thing. And David Grusch testified under oath. But he also, as far as I understand, he got those other witnesses to testify under oath too, the ones that were willing and that claimed that they were part of the program, touched the darn artifacts, right? So don't get lost in this all hearsay. No, it's not all hearsay. It's not all hearsay. And also, Grusch has said that he's seen more direct evidence, but he can't talk about that. So he kind of suggests that even he has seen direct evidence, beyond intelligence reports, beyond talking to direct witnesses, but he's not cleared to talk about that yet. But anyways, this Joe Rogan Grusch interview was huge, and it's going to lead to more, in my opinion. And you really need to prepare your soul. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's do this. Special thanks to all patrons, YouTube members, those that have bought merch, those that have given me one-time donation. I couldn't do without you. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode.